Everyone, I'm Al Mirabella. I'm the chairman of the Union County Board of County Commissioners, and welcome to tonight's virtual town hall on Hurricane Ida and its impact on the residents of Union County. On September 1st, many parts of New Jersey saw historic rainfall as we braced for the impact. In Union County, rainfall rates were 2 inches per hour, wreaking havoc on many of our communities. With a statewide death total of 21, Union County suffered the second highest loss of life at 5 individuals. And before we get into the rest of our session, I want to call for a moment of silence for those Union County residents that we lost during Hurricane Ida. Thank you. Subsequently, Union County hosted 3 Hurricane Ida resource fairs to connect residents with the necessary resources to assist with helping to recover from this tragedy. At these fairs, we assisted almost 1,000 residents with county and community-based services ranging from shelter, food, health insurance, to homeowner and vehicle insurance, and help with FEMA applications. As Union County was named a major disaster area by President Biden a week following the hurricane, this allowed our residents to access programs and funding from the federal government, especially FEMA, which was critical to our recovery. Since then, FEMA has stood up permanent disaster recovery centers in our county, one in Elizabeth, Cranford, and now Union, communication mobile units currently in Scotts Park, as well as FEMA launched a door-to-door effort walking damaged areas to help our residents apply for aid. Union County has been a true partner in this effort, canvassing neighborhoods alongside of FEMA over the last several weeks to talk to residents about our available services and support that our residents may need to get back on their feet again. We knocked on over 6,000 doors and spoke to 1,200 residents and directed them to services in need. We know that we have much more to do, which is why tonight we have FEMA on the call to discuss their experience on the ground and the services that the residents are able to apply for if they were impacted by the storm. We have representatives from the Union County Department of Human Services to discuss programs related to shelter, food, and mental health services, as well as representatives that can speak to you about home repair programs and extended SNAP benefits. At this time, we want to hear from you, our residents, expressing and giving us questions about an application or issues that have come up that you may have that is unresolved. If you are on the Zoom, you can send questions through the chat feature. And if you're watching on Facebook, you could place them in the comment section in Facebook. We have representatives here monitoring that. Before we go on, I want to thank the FEMA representatives and our partners in this. I want to thank the county manager, Ed Open, deputy county manager, Amy Wagner, Jess Cohen, chief of staff, Dave Pilmanstein, and Robert Charkowski, the IT support tech team on hand here. And with that, I want to introduce our first FEMA partner, and that's Brian Miller, who will speak to the Individual Assistance Program. Brian?
Hello. First of all, I'd like to thank you and everybody of Union County for inviting us to have the opportunity to go over our programs and to provide some information that may assist some of the survivors. It was a tragic event. It brings me back to memories of Sandy when I was up here in Union County during Sandy. It's catastrophic, and we will get through this. We will get through this. Now, first of all, what I'd like to talk about is our individual assistance program. And within the individual assistance, we have what's called the IHP, or it's Individuals and Households Program. And within that program, the first thing you have to do is register with FEMA. And you can do that a couple of different ways. And what I'd like to do is provide the phone number. The best way that I think you can register is calling 1-800-621-3362. And you can talk to a FEMA representative when you call the FEMA 800 number. Now you can also go to a disasterassistance.gov and you can register online, either from a computer or a smart device. You can also use the app, which is, download the FEMA app, and you can register through the FEMA app also. So there's multiple ways individuals can register, and you can visit our a disaster recovery center, as previously mentioned. We've got one that in the Elizabeth O'Donnell Dempsey Senior Citizen. We got one at the Cranford Community Center, and we got one at the Vauxhall Meeting Center. I'm not sure if I said that right or not. And those locations are open from about 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. Each location has a little different hours. We're closed on Sundays. And so, but those are the hours that we have for our disaster recovery centers. So that right there, it gives you several different ways that an individual could register. And that's the first step that has to occur. Whether you are an owner or a renter, it doesn't matter. If you've had disaster-related damages, you can register with FEMA and possibly be assisted. Now, under the individuals and households program, we have what we call the housing assistance. It's like a great big umbrella, then we got two little underneath it. So the housing assistance can help with rental assistance. If someone was a renter and and wants to continue renting or needs a place to rent or till their place is repaired, they move back in, we have rental assistance. If they're a homeowner and the home is damaged and they can't stay in it and they need rental assistance, they may be able to qualify for rental assistance. And I use the word qualify or eligible because the FEMA programs is a eligibility program. It's not an entitlement program. It's not automatic. There's certain requirements that have to be met. And it's related to the amount of damages that you have that's not covered by some other source. If you have flood insurance, excuse me.
It is, and
Hold on 1 minute.
Okay. If you have flood insurance and you've been flooded, then chances are your flood insurance is going to make you whole. So FEMA, that's the concept in it. For even though in the Union County, I believe it was more flooding event versus the wind event. But if you had roof damage or exterior wind damages caused by wind, then that's going to be like your homeowner's insurance. And so the insurance that you have that will cover the damages you receive it will make you whole. They will repair you. Now, FEMA's program is not an insurance program. FEMA's program does not bring your house back to 100% to what it was. FEMA is more concerned about the individuals. So what we want to do is be sure that you have a safe, sanitary, functional place to stay. For instance, if you're in a 4-bedroom house and you're all by yourself, the other 3 bedrooms, if they were damaged, then that's beyond the FEMA program. As long as you have one safe bedroom. Now, if you don't, we can possibly get funds to repair that. A bathroom, kitchen. So that shows you that the FEMA program is a bare bones, essential needs program. It's not a program that is going to make your house 100% or back whole. That's not what the program is designed for. I mentioned the housing assistance side where you can get rental assistance. If you're a homeowner, you can get home repair or a replacement. Now, these dollar amounts are set by the law, so there's not a lot of flexibility in some of these dollar amounts, so that, but there is a process that you can go through if you're not satisfied with the determination. We'll touch on that a little bit more. Now, besides the housing assistance side, it has what we call the other needs assistance. And on the other needs assistance, we can assist with transportation. We can assist with your personal property, medical, dental, funerals. And I've heard the previous statement, and we've been moving forward with trying to assist individuals with that aspect of it. Childcare. So the other needs assistant covers a larger array of items, though the housing is probably the most important. Now, there's a partnership, both sort of with the state and with the SBA, the Small Business Administration. The Small Business Administration, they have a program where they provide, can possibly provide disaster assistance loans. Now, when someone registers with FEMA, there's a lot of handshaking that goes on and a lot of databases that are automatically cross-checked and things like that. For instance, we verify your occupancy, we verify your ownership, there's some income verification. And so there's a lot of things that are done automatically within seconds and minutes after an individual registered based upon that information. And one of them is the cross-reference with the SBA. And some people are immediately referred to the other needs assistance program, and other people have to, get with SBA and go through that process. And I'm sure there's, looks like we have a guest from SBA that'll be able to expand upon that part of it a little bit better. Now, once an individual has registered, the next step is an inspection. Now, we're doing inspections for different ways. Some of them we're doing what we call the hybrid inspections, where we're doing some from a phone call and we're doing some from external vision. Because of COVID-19 and the safety of all the individuals in our current environment, not only for our employees and our contractors, but also for the survivors, the inspectors are not entering into the houses. Now, the disaster inspectors, they're trained to, the minute they're driving up, if there happen to be one driving up to your location, they look at the house. They can see a watermark. They can see damages. They can see, your roof issues, side vinyls. They can see all kinds of things without even going inside. And then they'll meet with you and talk with you. They may need to verify a little bit of information, for instance, the occupancy. I mentioned that we do a database cross-reference. Well, sometimes it doesn't hit perfect. For instance, if someone's name on some of their documents have their middle initial and on some of the documents doesn't have their middle initials, the system doesn't match that up. It's got to be like identical. However you register with FEMA, that is what the system looks for into the other databases. I know I very seldom use my middle name or my middle initial, but yet my Social Security card has my middle name in it. So that would create, could create a database issue if I was to, well, like I did back in 2005 when Katrina hit. That's when I started with FEMA. So yeah, I had issues back then. So that gives you an idea of the registration process, the cross-reference, and the type of assistance that's needed. And then once the inspector records the disaster-related damages, that's sent back through, through the computer systems, and it's all combined with your registration information. And based upon your registration information and the disaster-related damages recorded, the process begins. Sometimes if everything clicks and everything's matched up, an award could be processed automatically and sent to be dispersed within a few days. If there are some issues with something that's not matching up and it has to be manually reviewed. And then the cases that have to be manually reviewed take a lot more time than the automated cases. So that's what happens once you've registered, been inspected, and received a determination, be it eligible or ineligible. Now, a lot of times what we're missing is just a document. It may not be, anything, anything major. For instance, say the occupancy doesn't pass, and when we show up, you may not have a utility bill or something handy to prove the occupancy. Well, since the inspector couldn't verify that, then you may have to submit that document, proof of occupancy, to FEMA, and you can do that by faxing it to FEMA, by emailing. If you create a disaster assistance account, you could upload your documents through that. Or you could go to one of the DRCs or the mobile recovery centers if there's any in your area also. So again, in staying in the communication with FEMA, anytime you have any question, just call that 1-800-621-3362. There are people there that should be able to assist you on whatever your question is. Now, becomes a point where you have to do a formal appeal. And in the appeal process, once you've been denied or you have received a little bit of funds, but you feel your disaster-related damages are far greater than that, all you have to do is write a letter stating what FEMA gave you and what you think needs to happen. Along with that, you need to have supporting documentation. In other words, if your car is damaged because of the flooded, then we need a statement from I'm gonna say a verifiable statement from a mechanic. In other words, we need to have a name, phone number, and the estimate. So when we call the mechanic, that we could say, okay, did you work on such and such car? Did it cost this much? And what was the damages caused by? See, those are things that we have to do, and our processors and caseworkers back in the offices do those and make those phone calls. Same thing, if you have home damages and it's greater than what the amount of assistance may not be what you feel should be awarded. Again, you write an appeal, you get a document from a contractor that that identifies the disaster-related damages, and present that as your support documents for the reason you're filing an appeal. And that's the key aspect of it, is having your appeal letter describing what you want done and why you're submitting the documents, and then submit the documents to support your appeal. So that's the appeal process. Let's see.
Mr. Miller, I really want to appreciate the detail and the great information. I know we have several other areas to cover tonight. So I don't know how much more of a presentation you have. I want to let you finish, obviously, but I do want to get to some questions from our public. I know they're anxious because we're getting a lot of questions in. So I just want to make sure we have time for that.
That's fine. And the appeal is the wrap up. That's the last step, is the appeal process. So you ahead and go whatever y'all need to do next.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you, Brian, for that great information. I want to move to Sandra Lawson and Mr. Miller mentioned this, Small Business Administration. We're going to ask Ms. Lawson to give some comments, and then we're going to open up some questions, and then we have some other FEMA experts to be on the line with us to share some more information. So thank you, and I'll turn it over to Sandra right now.
Thank you very much. I appreciate being able to talk to Union County community about our SBA disaster loan program. We're federal partners with FEMA. And as Brian mentioned, we kind of work together in that, you start with FEMA first. If you had any damages, FEMA will talk to you about what you need to do, and they just may refer you to the SBA. Well, we have a disaster loan program. A lot of people don't like loan because it seems to, not sit well sometimes, but it's a nice option to have available. It's a long-term, low-interest loan. It not only helps businesses, but in times of disaster, like natural disasters, it helps homeowners, renters, nonprofits, small businesses, and large businesses. So we have three different areas that we can focus on. If you're a homeowner and you have physical damages to your primary resident, Well, you can apply for the disaster loan. The interest rates are as low as 1.5% for up to 30 years, and there's 18 to 24-month deferment on your first note if you are approved, if you decide to accept the loan. Also for renters and homeowners, if you had damages to your personal property, up to $40,000 is available in the way of a loan. The loans only cover actual damages. So even though we have a ceiling amount, the actual damages of your losses will be computed. And so if you're approved for the loan, that's what you would get. We don't duplicate benefits. Where if your insurance company pays for certain things, we don't duplicate those benefits or other sources of financial assistance that you might get. We might not duplicate those. So, we just want to be clear on that. Now, if you're a small business, there's what we call an economic injury disaster loan program. That helps if a business lost business because of the flooding due to Hurricane Ida. So if you lost business, you can apply for the EIDL loan, which is working capital. It applies to those small businesses that are in the primary counties that were impacted, which Union is a primary county. And then any size business can apply for the physical damage loans. Now, if you're a business and you lost content, you had damages to your real estate, you can apply for that loan. And FEMA won't help you as a business, but as an individual, they will. So if your business had damages, you can come and talk to the SBA about that. For a business of any size, the interest rates are as low as 2.8% for up to 30 years. And if you're a nonprofit like a C501c3, they can help with like faith-based organizations. If you had damages there, you can apply for assistance. Now, what are the eligibility criteria? Well, we look at the ability to repay the loan. We look at reasonable credit. And we also look at if you ever had a federal loan that you did not pay or you defaulted on in some way, that will be reviewed to see if you could still qualify. But what we're doing is putting another option on the table. If you don't have enough resources to recover from the damages due to the hurricane, applying for this long-term low interest loan is another way to do that. So we talked about the rates, we talked about the terms up to 30 years. There's also another piece. If you have some ideas on how you can prevent the damages from occurring again in future disasters, there's what we call a mitigation piece. If an additional 20% of an approved loan could be added so that you can do things like storm windows or sump pumps, or do something with to help the drainage situation and things like that. So if you are approved, you can always talk with the loan officer at that time about, getting mitigation help with your loan. The other thing is that if you are declined for whatever reason, you'll receive a decline letter, but in the decline letter, it talks about how to appeal. Just like FEMA has an appeal process, we do as well. So the letter will tell you exactly why, you were declined, and it will give you so many days or months to justify why they should consider you for the loan. So that's what's going on with that. You can apply for these disaster loans at any of the disaster recovery centers that FEMA mentioned. They are in Union County or any county, available at the Cranford Community Center, at Elizabeth O'Donnell Dempsey Center there in Elizabeth. And the third one he mentioned, I'm not pronouncing it just right, but we also have Business Recovery Center in Bergen County at the Bergen Community College. And there's another one, let's see, which is in Hackensack, and that's probably the closest to you. There's one in Somerset as well at Somerset Business Partnership Building. But you can apply online if you feel comfortable. It's disaster loan assistance at sba.gov, disasterloanassistance.sba.gov. We will also make this information available to the county there, so that if you need the additional information, you can get it there. There's also an 800 number. If you also want to get information directly from our customer service center, it's 800-659-2955. But the final word is that, just as FEMA said, if you're referred to SBA, you should apply. And if you're declined, that's when, as a resident, homeowner, or renter, that's when you get to go back to FEMA for other needs assistance. So that's the process for you to go back to get other potential funding from FEMA. And that's why they urge you to come and see us. But it's always up to you as an applicant as to whether or not you want to take the loan. Even if you're approved, you don't have to take it. You got 2 months to decide what you want to do. Maybe by then your insurance is paid off, or if you didn't have enough insurance, you can figure out if you even need the funds. So it's totally up to you as an applicant, but it is a federal program made available to help you out during this time of disaster. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lawson. Actually, we have a question on SBA. I want to throw it to you right now real quick.
Yes, sir.
I applied for SBA and was told that I was approved, but have still not received any assistance.
Well, usually the approval process is pretty quick, 2 to 3 weeks. But what you can do is you can stop by either the Business Recovery Center that I mentioned there in Bergen, or you can stop by any of the DRCs that we mentioned and talk to them, and they'll give you an updated status. Our SBA reps are there as to what's going on with your application. And you'll find out exactly what's going on and what's the specific situation for you. Or you can call 800-659-2955.
Well, I'm glad you keep talking about going in person and taking the time to visit the sites. I think that's, for me, always the best way to sit across from somebody and talk, one-to-one and get your specific questions answered. So
That's
I
right.
encourage our residents to do that. There's 3 sites in Union County alone, besides the Bergen that Ms. Lawson mentioned. And we will be collecting questions during this and after this at ucnj.org/IDA. There'll be a link to submit questions. We may not get to all of them tonight. We will get back to people that send questions. And we're also in the process of developing a frequently asked questions page. And that site is actually laid out very well with a lot of information. But we're going to try to group those questions that were frequently asked together so that people have easy access to information. I think that's going to be key. But for me, I would take the time and go to one of the centers. I have been myself to those centers. The staff is knowledgeable and really helpful. So I encourage people to do that. I think that's the best way to get immediate help. But thank you for your answer. I appreciate that, man.
Good.
We have another question. What do I do if I find more damage after the inspection? I know there's some FEMA representatives that we haven't called on yet, but anybody can answer that question if they have that for members of the public.
Are you saying from the SBA loan or for FEMA?
No, maybe this is for Brian.
Okay.
Hey,
Right.
Brian.
The inspection, if you see that there's more damages, you contact FEMA and advise them that you've got some additional damages. And if you needed a second inspection, that, depending upon what the damages are, you may need a second inspection. So the best thing to do is call FEMA, tell them, look, I've got additional damages due to whatever the reason happens to be, and you need another inspection. And that will start the process. There'll be conversation because they may, depending upon the specificness of the case, you may have to write an appeal. But contacting either going to the DRC, in person, or calling the 800 number. Either way, we'll get the ball rolling to see what we can do to address the additional damages found.
Terrific. And this is another question for you, Brian. What happens if homeowners insurance denies their application and then FEMA also denies the claim, where can you go next? Maybe it's that appeal, I don't know.
Well, I don't know that that's kind of unusual. If your insurance company denies you, then normally FEMA will assist you. So that is a unique situation that I'd recommend that whoever's asked that question to go to the DRC and have their case reviewed and checked out real close, or call the 800 number, because if you're the homeowner and you live there and you have insurance and your damages and your home insurance denies you, depending upon the type of damages and stuff, then normally it's referred back to FEMA for assistance. So that's how I would address that issue.
Good, thank you, Brian. That's good advice. Appreciate that. Let's go on now to Thomas Song and Steve Laurie to speak for a couple of seconds on FEMA hazard mitigation. Hi,
Great.
guys.
Thank you, sir. Can you hear me, sir? Great. So, look, all too often we have homes that are flooded, rebuilt, only to be flooded again. This cycle needs to be broken because some of you have unfortunately realized flooding is just not damage homes, they damage your life. So as you are at this moment that you need to make some decisions about rebuilding your home and putting your life back together, it is a very difficult time. And there's some difficult decisions you need to make. So I work with the hazard mitigation team, and we help the recovery effort in 3 ways. First, we work with communities on building codes. Second, we also deal with flood insurance. Third, we are the program that works with federal funding to provide grants for acquisition, for elevation, and other mitigation projects. So I want to go back to that first point with building codes. You are at a difficult time in your life at this moment. And it is some hard decisions that cost money and take time. And there is an easy way out, and there's a way to do it right. So we plead with you, work with your community, work with those building codes. Because those codes have been developed to keep you safe. We want to ensure, especially in these high hazard areas where they're prone to flooding, that building codes are met. Because not only will it keep you safe, you have to think about future occupants, the ones that come in and want to make a life in your community. And they deserve a chance to be safe, and as well as some of the financial benefits that buildings that are built safer usually have a higher market value and also lower flood insurance costs. So please, work with your community officials, understand what the requirements are, and plan accordingly, because what you can do now can have a long-lasting effect. When it comes to flood insurance, I want to dispel some myths here. Anyone can buy flood insurance. You do not have to live in a flood zone to get it. And in fact, what we see in these major disasters is there are far too many people outside the flood zone that are impacted. Some of you have just learned your homeowner's insurance does not cover flood damage. Only flood insurance. And many think that flood insurance is a cost, it is a burden. But it may cost some money, but if you're flooded without the coverage, it can cost you everything. If there was no presidentially declared disaster, my colleague Brian and our partner from the SBA, they would not have the ability to provide you the assistance. In other words, you would be on your own. So flood insurance is the one way. It is to buy protection against flooding. It is the ability for you to take your flood risk and give it to somebody else. And this is the best way to rebuild if you are unfortunately impacted by a flood. And finally, we have the federal grant. think you've read about them, you hear about them, the buyouts, the elevations, etc. So I just want to set this expectation. There is never enough money to help everybody. Also, these grants are competitive. That means that your situation is compared with a situation from another community to another community. And so the municipalities, the counties, and the state, they really need to start to prioritize which ones are eligible and which ones have the greatest need. And I wish I could give you a formula to lay it out simply, but it is not a simple process. There are a lot of factors that go into those cases or those homes that are awarded these grants. And if you think about it, we're talking about taxpayer dollars either buying private property or improving a property. There are a lot of checks, a lot of check boxes. There's a lot of reviews. So if you do go down that path, again, want to set that expectation. It is not an easy and simple road. We are trying to improve the process, but we have a lot of regulations that go with utilizing public money for such activities. One thing to understand, FEMA does not work directly with the residents, and we don't work directly with the community or the county. We work with the state. We provide the funding, and the state, specifically the New Jersey Office of Emergency Management and the Mitigation Unit, they're the ones who administer the grant program in the state. They also have another program called Blue Acres under the Department of Environmental Protection. Now, I'm not knowledgeable enough to speak about their program, nor would I, because it is not part of what we do. So if you are interested, you can Google Blue Acres DEP. So if you are interested in grants, tell you, please speak with your officials, speak with the floodplain administrator, speak with your local emergency manager. They will take your names, your indications of interest, and they will then send that up. And then eventually it will wind up with the state where they have to make those difficult. So I just want to wrap up here. It is unfortunate for some of you who have flooded, maybe for the first time, maybe this isn't. The important thing here is there are actions we can take now that can help you in the future to protect yourself against flooding. I'll be here all night to answer any questions you have, as well as my colleagues. So thank you for your time.
Good. Thank you, Thomas, and thanks to Steve as well. This is a question for you, Thomas. What happens when the town doesn't have a flood administrator?
Sir, if your community is participating in the National Flood Insurance Program, just by the mere requirement, you have a floodplain administrator. Now, we don't expect every local official to read their ordinances, especially one that is kind of in addition to your normal building code. In your floodplain damage prevention ordinance, it is required that an office, not a person, but an office is designated as a floodplain administrator. And I just want to make it clear that in the state of New Jersey, there are many communities that have either part-time floodplain administrators, or you have a floodplain administrator that might be working for multiple municipalities. They're usually the code enforcement folks or the building people, but again, you would have to check with your flood damage prevention work.
People may not know their official title, but it's probably part of their position if the town's required. All right, I understand that, Thomas.
Okay.
Thanks for telling that. Appreciate that. Let's move now to Sandra Houston from FEMA's Civil Rights Program. Sandra?
Good evening. Are you able to hear me okay?
Yes, thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate the opportunity. Yes, my name is Sandra Houston, and I am a civil rights specialist. And what we are here to do on this mission is to ensure that there's equality and fairness of all FEMA-funded programs and activities, and all members of the community have equal access to those programs and those activities. We just want to let the community know that FEMA does not treat people differently because of race, age, color, national origin, sex, sexual orientation, religion, age, disability, English proficiency, or their economic status. And that we provide free aids and services to people to help them communicate with us and to understand our FEMA programs. It was mentioned earlier that we do have the 3 DRCs that are functioning in Elizabeth, Cransford, and also Box Hill. So any information that's required or needed regarding fairness to programs will be available at either of those DRCs. Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Appreciate that, Sandra. And thanks to all our professionals from FEMA that are on the line right now. So let's open it up to some questions. I have some here that were sent in ahead of time, and I want to just throw it out to anybody, any of our professionals on the line right now. This is, I don't know if this is an easy question, but are FEMA payments taxable? I don't know who would know that, but anybody who has that information could just jump right in.
FEMA awards, this is Brian Miller. FEMA awards are not taxable. It is a grant. It's not taxable.
Good, thank you. Is any assistance provided to people who have flood insurance but aren't 100% covered by it?
Sir, that would depend on, sorry, Brian, I'll give you an opportunity. That would depend on the level of coverage. As any prudent purchaser of flood insurance, they should really speak with their insurance agent to understand what that level of coverage should be. So it's maybe a little misleading to say it wasn't completely covered. There are maximums to the flood insurance policies, but sometimes people are undercovered or underprotected, and the payout may not be enough for their rebuild. Brian, I'm sorry, were you going to add something?
Yes, the if you're underinsured, we may be able to assist you. Again, it depends upon the damages that you had, how much insurance money you received, because the concern is, or the variable factor is that insurance companies normally look at making a dwelling whole, whereas our program is a basic program. It wants to give you a place that's safe, sanitary, and functional. As I mentioned before, 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom. So, you know, you're not comparing really apples to apples, but if you're not covered by your insurance company for whatever the reason, provide us with your insurance documents or your denial letter, and then we can look forward to additional processing. Again, you can drop that off at a disaster recovery center or fax that in, and I don't have the fax phone number with me. I apologize for that, but those are 2 different options that you can do. You can call the 800 number and they could give you the fax number if you'd like, or you can upload it on your DAC account if you have a DAC account set up.
Thank you both for that information. This next question is for the Deputy County Manager, Amy Wagner. How can I get assistance for my home repairs?
Thank you, Chairman. There are multiple ways. Of course, FEMA is an option. There are also some home improvement programs that are available through the CDBG programs. The county operates one. If someone is income eligible, they can apply for up to $24,999 for repairs. They are 0 interest loans that have no payments due until the property were to change hands. So it could be 25 years from now before anyone would expect any money back. So it's a great program for those that are income eligible. The county offers that to 15 of our municipalities. 2 of them, the City of Elizabeth and the City of Union, Township of Union, have their own programs, and you can contact their offices directly for assistance with those programs. For information about the county program, individuals can call Development Directions. They administer the program on our behalf. Their number is 732-382-8100.
Thank you, Amy.
You're welcome.
In addition to our FEMA professionals and our partners, we have several other Union County employees on the line helping answer some questions too. And those three individuals are Christina Topolowski, Camille Williams, and Nicole DeAugustine. This question is for Camille. I keep seeing information posted about SNAP benefits. What is that, and where can I find out if I qualify?
So if you've never been on received SNAP benefits before, you can contact us at our office, or you can go online and actually download an application. We are giving out applications in person if you come by the office, but the easiest way is to go online to the Union County website, to the Department of Human Services, and then link over to the Division of Social Services.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is a question for whoever can answer it. Is your income taken into consideration when seeking assistance from FEMA?
No, sir. When you seek assistance from FEMA, I mean, we take the information, but that's not, part of our program. It's just, it's one of those fields that we fill out. Now, currently, a lot of people don't even fill that filled out a lot of times. Now there's one of the things, if someone puts in like 0, they will automatically be referred to SBA. And if they put in, a realistic amount, because we have several, say around the less than $20,000, people that are put in that dollar amount may automatically be referred to our other needs program. So, but it's not taken in consideration at all. Our program is basically disaster-related damages and unmet needs.
Okay, thank you. This is for Christina. I've been living in a hotel since the hurricane. What continued assistance can I receive for rental assistance?
So there are a number of rental assistance programs available throughout Union County and the state. Our office would be glad to assist you. Anyone that's looking for assistance in regards to rental assistance can reach out to our department through the department action line. That phone number is 888-845-3434, which is a toll-free number. We can also contact us at a local number, which is 908-558-2288.
Okay, thank you for that, Christina.
You're welcome.
Here's another question just for anyone who has this answer. I'm interested in knowing more about resources available for not-for-profits assisting in disaster recovery. I'm asking on behalf of the Cranford JCs, as they were and are very active locally in bringing our neighbors some help from Ida. I understand there is a town hall tonight. Okay, they doing, where are they? But I'm unable to make it, so we'll post this for this individual who can't be there. Is there any information for nonprofits that are helping out with this effort? I don't know if that's an SBA question.
No,
or-
I can take this. I can take this back to my office because we have a person that does work with the volunteer agencies, and I can take this back to my office and have someone reach out. Who should they reach out to provide this information?
You can reach out to Jessica Cohen here in Union County. We can get you the email address unless you maybe already have that.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. All right, let's go on to our next question. Is there any assistance with programs for cleaning or sanitizing? Maybe this is for Christina.
I'm not aware of any programs, but we can definitely look into something about that and add that to the frequently asked questions, because it is something that we have received questions on. But we would be glad to share that and post that up on the website afterwards.
Okay, good. This is another question about some appliances that were damaged in the storm. Is there any assistance for homeowners that their appliances shorted out or malfunctioned during the storm? I guess that's just part of your FEMA claim or your insurance claim, I would guess.
Yeah, it could be part of the insurance claim, but if the insurance doesn't cover it, FEMA does have a program that is in partnership with the SBA that we could possibly assist on the repairs of the appliances if they were damaged due to the disaster. So I would recommend they go to a DRC, have their case reviewed. Maybe they may have to go with it. You go over to SBA and talk with them a little bit, but that would be the first step.
Okay. All right, I'm going to ask one more question to the group, and then we're going to still continue to compile questions that come in, generate that frequently asked questions document, and keep pointing people to the centers for their assistance directly. And I agree with several of the speakers who said that that's the quickest and best way to meet one-on-one with a FEMA professional who can help you with your questions. So the last question I'm going to ask is, this is a question here. Survivors are asking, how does receiving funds from FEMA affect their taxes? I don't know if anybody has that. I guess your accountant can probably answer that, but I don't know if, Brian, you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, yes, sir. The FEMA assistance is non-taxable. The FEMA grant, it's non-taxable. So will not have an impact on an individual's taxable income.
Okay, good. So it's not taxed when you get it, nor is it part of your income to report when you're filing. Okay, perfect. Okay, well, we're going to try to keep this to an hour, and which we've successfully done. I can't really thank our FEMA partners enough for the help that they've done. I look at other counties and how they're getting assistance, and I'm sure FEMA is spread thin, but I really feel like we're getting some great attention in our county from our FEMA partners federally, and those individuals that are on our call tonight have been doing a terrific job, and their colleagues that are at these centers in the 3 locations we spoke of in Union, in Elizabeth, and in Cranford. And I encourage people to go to the website, ucnj.org. You can click on a FEMA link or an IDA link, and there's a lot of information there. But I know our team here at the county has been working equally hard to provide information and access to information, getting residents the assistance they need, whether it's short-term housing, some food insecurity, and then pointing them basically in the right direction to get help that they need from the federal government. And we couldn't be more pleased with the response federally, and where we're at as a county. I feel like we have the necessary resources to get to people and help them in the time of their worst tragedy. So that's going to do it for us tonight in this town hall meeting. I hope the residents that were able to tune in found it helpful. I think it's being recorded, Robert, so we'll post it so people can go and view the information from the county staff that offered it and from the FEMA professionals. And I just want to wish everybody, excuse me, good luck as they work through the problems they've had. And we're here to help, and we're trying to do that. So thank you very much.